Hey there, this is Lucas Gaith with Hal Elrod. Hal is actually one of my earliest sales mentors from Cutco. He's a Hall of Fame sales rep, author of The Miracle Morning, marathon runner, survivor of a car crash, and even cancer now. So he's a warrior. Hal, you've helped people, thousands, if not millions of people, find more direction and purpose in their lives, especially through The Miracle Morning. Can you please describe that and kind of the purpose behind the Miracle Morning?
Yeah. First, Lucas, thanks for having me, man. This is cool. This is fun. Life comes full circle. But yeah, the Miracle Morning started out as a morning ritual that I created in 2008 when the U.S. economy was crashing or had crashed, and I crashed with it. And it was kind of a 6-month downward spiral for me, where in a 6-month period, I went from being what you'd consider relatively successful. I had built a 6-figure business. I just bought my first home, and everything was going well. And then the economy crashed, and I lost over half of my clients. So I lost over half of my income. Couldn't pay my mortgage. I lost my bank to the or didn't lose my bank. I didn't have a bank. I lost my house to the bank, and I kind of went on a quest of discovering. After 6 months, I finally was just fed up. I was like, I got to do something drastic here. And I started studying, what do the world's most successful people do every day? What are their daily habits, routines, rituals? And I kept coming across morning routines and morning rituals, but I wasn't a morning person myself, or I didn't think I was. So I was like, no, I know that some of them do their morning thing, but nah, that's not me. Like, what else do they do? What else do they do, right? But I kept coming across morning routines and morning rituals in a way that it was undeniable. I went, this is not just like it's so many successful people swear by their morning ritual. I thought there's something to this. So I started diving in and really looking. And to keep a long story short, the Miracle Morning, basically it was me assembling what are the best practices for personal growth and personal development that you could combine into the ultimate morning ritual. Because for me, my life was at a place where it was kind of a rock bottom, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to change fast. So I thought, I can't just do like a little, reading in the morning, or it's got to be the best. So it became meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, journaling, 6 of the most timeless personal development practices known to man. And then I went on a quest of taking a lot of these practices that were kind of fluffy, that were kind of soft, like affirmations was kind of a joke. Like, you just tell yourself, I'm a millionaire. And then you're supposed to trick yourself into believing it. Like, I wanted to take everything that I was going to do and make it really results oriented, really practical and results oriented. If I was going to have an affirmation around becoming a millionaire, I wanted to see my bank account balance grow every week, not just look in the mirror and talk to myself and feel good for a few minutes, right?
Right.
And so I created the Miracle Morning, and I started calling it the Miracle Morning, not from day one, but 2 months after I started doing these 6 practices every day. I doubled my income. I went from being in the worst shape of my life to committing to run a 52-mile ultra marathon, and I went from being deeply depressed to being totally back to being confident and on top of the world. And because my life transformed so profoundly and so fast, it felt like a miracle. I told my wife, it's like a miracle. So I started calling it Miracle Morning. But it was not a book idea. It wasn't anything. And then I taught it to a few of my clients. They had amazing results very quickly. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I went, wait, if this changed my life and I wasn't a morning person, if the Miracle Morning changed Katie's life and Jerry's life, that they're not morning people, like, this could change the world. And Lucas, I never imagined it would. I mean, now it really is. Literally over 500,000 people in over 100 countries do the Miracle Morning every day. I've got thousands of emails, and you can go to Amazon and read the reviews. There's thousands of reviews of people saying everything from it saved my marriage to wow. I became a millionaire, or, it's stuff that it sounds like you'd hear it on an infomercial. And if I wasn't getting the emails myself from the people reading it and getting the results, I would be like, that sounds like kind of bullshit. But it's legit. It's really, really, really incredible. So the Miracle Morning, let me sum it up. It is the ultimate morning ritual. It can be done in as little as 6 minutes, or most people do about 30 to 60 minutes a day. And the essence of the Miracle Morning is for you to be able to become the person that you need to be with the knowledge, the confidence, the skills, the abilities to create everything that you want for your life as fast as humanly possible. And that's the essence of the Miracle Morning.
Awesome. Love it. Love it.
Got it.
I still apply a lot of the stuff. Like I have a book right on my bed right now. So it's all good
Nice.
stuff for sure.
Nice.
What role in wealth building do you think living by your values has?
So I think that values is a topic that is it's deep and it's broad, right? It kind of depends on how you approach it. So when it comes to living in alignment with your values, it depends on what your values are. So you have to examine your values, I believe, and look at, are the values that I live by in alignment with the wealth that I want to create for myself? And I'll give you an example. I believe that the most valuable value, if you will, in wealth building is adding value for other people, right?
Absolutely.
So Zig Ziglar said it one way, and I think he said it really well. He said that you can have everything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. For me, when I was 25, I read a book called Love is the Killer App by Tim Sanders. And in that book, he talks about adding value for other people. And after reading that book, it resonated with me. I defined my purpose in life, and I put it in writing. It was to selflessly add value to the lives of every person that I possibly could. That became my purpose in life. And to this day, it's still my purpose in life. So when I'm engaging with my wife, I'm asking myself, what can I say or do that will add as much value for her as possible? What can I say or do for my children? What can I say or do for my clients, for my prospects, etc.? And so I believe, in the same, similar to what Zig Ziglar said, that the more value that you add to other people or for other people, the more valuable you become for those people, and therefore they are willing to pay you for your value if you have something, of course, to sell them, But like I started out when the Miracle Morning came out, I launched my podcast, the Achieve Your Goals podcast, and the Achieve Your Goals podcast didn't have any advertisers. It was the whole reason I launched it was I asked myself, how can I add value to my email subscribers every single week or consistently, right? And the answer I came up with was podcasting. I'm going to create a podcast because that for me is the most natural way for me to add value every week. Turn on the microphone and just, give some value, interview somebody, whatever. And that became how I added value. Well, what I found is that it's very true. The Miracle Morning, every copy of the Miracle Morning sold, every person's life that it's impacted, right? That is reciprocated, the value, and I actually earn money for that value that I add. And so and it's very true what Zig Ziglar said. The more people I help with the Miracle Morning, the more I'm able to create financial abundance for myself and for my family. And again, it's all in direct proportion to how I can add value. So I'll wrap it up by saying this, that in life, there are two ways to get what you want especially in terms of money. You can chase it. You can try to take it, right? You can, really try to take as much as you can get, keep as much as you can, hoard as much as you can, try to extract as much value out of every situation as you can, or you can try to give as much as you can. You can try to add as much value to every situation as you can. And I found the latter is the real secret to creating financial abundance. And here's the last thing. I think I said the last thing, but here's the last thing I'll say on this. And that is, if you think about it, most people try to get the most out of every situation, Lucas, right? They try, and I used to be guilty of that. I would try to get the most out of every situation. You go into a room and you're like, all right, who can I leech value from, right? And that's kind of an immature mindset that we tend to have, when we're young and we're coming up, trying to get what we can get out of life. And what you find is that when you try to get as much value as you can, trying to get value is very stressful. right? You're like keeping score, and did I get enough value from this person? Is this the right person I should be talking to? Do they have more value over there, right? I don't know. So trying to extract value is very stressful, but trying to add value is liberating, right? When you just add value with expectation of nothing in return, it's liberating because you're not trying to get anything. You're just giving. And if they take it, great. If they don't, great. If they reject it, great. It doesn't matter. You're just a giver of value. And I really believe that is that's the secret to financial success, is to add more value than anybody else. And you'll generate more opportunities for income than anybody else.
Awesome. I love it. And I like how you differentiated money from value and like all that. And so even though this course is about financial education, let's put money aside for a bit. What do you think are the key factors to living a happy and a fulfilled life?
Yeah, I think that there's two main ones. Number one is self-actualization,
okay,
right? Which is fulfilling your potential. So every day waking up and working on yourself so that you can become the person that you need to be to create what you want for your life. And I mentioned that's the miracle morning, right? The miracle morning is not about just waking up early or whatever. It's about waking up better. It's about waking up and dedicating the first part of your day, whether it's 6 minutes or 60 minutes or somewhere in between, but dedicating the first part of your day to your personal development so that you can become the person that you need to be to create what you want for your life. And here's a way to quantify that for everybody. Let's say, Lucas, if we're measuring success on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And I mean success in every area, in your marriage, in your health, your energy level, every happiness, every area. On a scale of 1 to 10, what level would you say we all want, Lucas?
I think everyone wants 10.
Right? Yeah. Nobody's like, well, I don't want too much money. Like, I don't want my friends to like borrow money from me. No, we're like, we don't limit ourselves. We're like, no, I want level 10 success in every area. I want level 10 health, level 10 happiness, level 10 money, you name it. I want level 10. And here's the realization that I had, that your level of personal development and your level of success will always parallel each other. So if you want level 10 success, but you're at a level 2 in terms of your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, your abilities, etc., that's the disconnect. And if you're watching the video, you can see I've got one hand up high for level 10 and one hand down low for level 2. And in 2008, when I came up with the Miracle Morning, that was part of the realization was I want level 10 success, but my level of personal development is like at a 2, maybe like a 3 on a good day. It's not where it needs to be, and that's the disconnect. But if you focus every day on developing yourself to be a level 10 person, then level 10 success meets you head on. It's where you operate. It's how you show up. But it's through your growth and who you become that you have the ability to easily sustain level 10 success in every area of your life. So number one is your personal development. That's the key to fulfillment, is to always every day becoming a better version of the person you were when you went to bed the night before. And the second is what we already talked about, which is adding value. The more value that you add, not only do you create abundance for yourself, but it's also how you create fulfillment for yourself. And like for me, if I'm depressed or I'm down, and I have down, just days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm in a funk. I don't even know why, right? It's because I'm either not, and I know now, having, over the last 15 years, had these experiences where I'll just wake up and feel kind of unfulfilled or something's wrong. I realize I'm not growing. I haven't read a book in a while or something. I'm not growing. Or B, I'm not contributing at a level that is, where I feel like I'm really adding value for other people. And immediately, if I go read a book and I learn something, I start to feel inspired and fulfilled. Or if I do something for someone else that can do nothing for me in return, as they say, that's totally selfless, just adding value for the sake of adding value, I feel really good. So I believe those are the keys to fulfillment. And here's the cool part. Those are the keys to achieving success, right? So the beauty of it is if you focus on personal development and adding value, you not only become financially successful, you become fulfilled. So they go hand in hand, and you kind of kill two birds with one stone.
Awesome. Absolutely. You mentioned being a father a little bit ago. So thinking of that, what values are you intentionally trying to instill in your own children?
Yeah, I would say in addition to those two, personal development and adding value, I'd say a big one is earning it.
Okay.
Right. So hard work. But I use the term earn it. And so for my kids, I teach them that, whenever they ask, Daddy, can I have this? I want this. Can I have this? I go, hey, that's great. You want that. I want a lot of things, right? What are you going to do to earn it? You have to earn it. Like those are and it's since my daughter was like 2, I would teach her that. And I go, sweetie, 2 words. What do you think they are? And she'd be like, earn it. Okay. And then she'd get up and do whatever she needed to do. Right. So, but that's it, I'm really trying to instill that, and that I think we have a very entitled society. We have very entitled, not just children, but, teenagers, college students, 20-year-olds, millennials, right? There's a lot of entitlement. And I see it in my kids sometimes. So I really am trying to instill the value of not being entitled, but feeling that you need to earn whatever it is that you want in life.
Awesome. Absolutely. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Last question is, how has giving transformed your life and business? You mentioned it a little bit, but go into it a little bit more deep as far as giving.
Yeah, I'll tell a story. So, I when I defined my purpose, it was in 2005, and I mentioned I read the book Love is a Killer App by Tim Sanders. So after you read The Miracle Morning, that's another good read. Right. But I wrote down my purpose is to selflessly add value for other people, and right after I wrote that down, like literally that day or the next day, I got a call from a friend, and this friend had been in and out. He had just been diagnosed with bipolar. He had kind of gone off the deep end about 6 months prior, and he got arrested going like 150 miles an hour on cocaine. This is a guy that I was roommates with back in the day, great guy, big heart, great guy. And what happened is his fiance broke up with him, and something snapped in his brain, and he became bipolar, and or at least he was diagnosed bipolar, and he went kind of crazy. Well, I was trying to be there for him as a friend as much as I could, but it got really draining. It got really every time he called, he would just suck we all know people like this, right? They just suck the energy out of you, and so right when I got in the car, I looked at he called, got the phone ring, and I looked at the phone, and it was him. And I was like, I don't have the energy to talk to him right now. So, I just don't. And I put the phone down, and then my purpose rang in my head. It said, wait, your purpose is to selflessly add value for other people. He's calling because he obviously wants some sort of value from you. Maybe it's to say hi, or maybe it's to complain, or whatever. So am I truly going to live my purpose here? And I went, no question, I got to do it, right? So I picked up the phone, and we had a conversation for about 20 minutes, and he wanted advice, and I gave him some advice. Well, a few years ago at my first ever live event that I put on, it's called Best Year Ever Blueprint. We do it once a year in San Diego. You can check it out, bestyeareverblueprint.com if you're listening. But I saw him there. In fact, I invited him to come, and I think I comped his ticket. And this was a few years later after we had that conversation. And he came up to me on a break, and he said, Hal, I'm sure you won't remember this, but he said, you saved my life. You actually don't know that. But he said, I called you one day when I was at a low point and I was suicidal. And he said, I get choked up telling the story. He said, you picked up the phone, and you were just there for me, and you gave me advice. And he said, it completely shifted my mindset. And I decided I will not kill myself. I will not do that, just based on what you told me. And he said, I'm sure you don't remember that, but it made a huge difference for me. And I said, I completely remember that, and I told him I said, you don't understand, that phone call. Well, and I was really transparent. I said, look, I didn't want to talk to you because you were draining me. You were hard to talk to at that time in our lives. And anyway, but it just reinforced that purpose of giving and of adding value for other people. And again, it's the secret to everything you want in your life. You want to be rich? Add more value for others. You want to be fulfilled? Add more value for others. You want to change the world? Add more value for others, right? That's it. And I'll give you guys an acronym to write down. The acronym is SAVE, S-A-V-E, not savers. So the Miracle Morning is made up of 6 practices. The acronym is SAVERS: silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. But that's not the affirmation that I'm ending this with. It's save, and that is selflessly add value every day. Selflessly add value every day. And I encourage you to save your circle of influence, right? Selflessly add value every day to your circle of influence, and it's the key to getting everything you want in your life.
Awesome. That's rocking. Is there any other little tips before we head off?
That's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Hal, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thanks for having me, Lucas. Appreciate you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Take care.